Okay, hello everyone, Chant here again, bringing you a nature healer loadout. Basic stats, I'm sat on 4,545 resto. Resto is the key stat for healers obviously, as I'm sure you all know. What I've put my power points in. Savage Growth is one of your healing over times. Bloom can also put out another spore that promotes healing over time. Pollination can put another spore out that will promote healing over time. My loadout consists of 3 heal over times, except I do not use Bloom that often. And on the shape-shifting tree, Metabolism is your 4th healing over time. Regeneration, obvious supercharge that's needed, and Swarm Shield. Iconic powers. I get Miracle Worker and Empathic Healing. Wisdom of Solomon for the extra power, Powerful Resistance, and Nanowave Armor. You need these two to heal. It will drastically increase your healing out. Drastically. Okay, to the healing loadout, I use Metabolism, Blue, Pollination, Blossom, Savage Growth, Swarm Shield, and Regeneration. As I said earlier, Savage Growth, Metabolism, and Cross-Pollination. That's 3 different heal over times, and Blossom removes your healing over time to give an instant heal, and the more spores it removes, the bigger the heal. I use Swarm Shield as an emergency heal for myself, or obviously as a shield to protect people on my team from incoming damage if it suddenly becomes too much to handle for some odd reason. And Regeneration. Regeneration is, in my opinion, weaker than Sorcery's Supercharge, but it has added bonuses in the sense that you don't have to just stand there. You can pop it and then clip out with something like Metabolism or a trinket, and then you're free to move around the arena and build back your supercharge whilst it's ticking away. It does about 4 or 5 ticks of over 2 to 3 seconds, not 2 to 3 seconds, sorry, with 2 to 3 seconds space in between each tick, which will heal for 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 each tick. Okay, so basic rotation I do is when I enter an arena or the next fighting area, you put Savage Growth out. As you can see in the top right, below my name, there's a green heart. This will show that you've got healing over time out. So if I hit Blossom, your healing over time is now removed, as you can see. So I usually hit Savage and clip it with Metabolism. This is now 2 spores that I've already got out, and as you can see in the top right again, that's next to no power used. Savage Growth will have a burst heal of quite a few ticks of 200, 300, and more. If it crits, it can hit like 800, 900 for about 5 seconds. And Metabolism is very similar. It will do virtually the same, but it costs a little bit more to cast Metabolism than Savage. Cross-Pollination is a bit of an odd move. You need to be in the middle of your group, really, for this to be the most effective heal. So if you're all in Paradox, and say you're destroying the pillar, so you're shooting it down and stuff, and then the pillar explodes and it does the huge amount of damage to your team if they don't block, you can hit Cross-Poll and that'll instantly heal pretty much everybody that stood next to you to max health. Fair enough, it costs probably about 10% of your power bar, but it's worth it if it heals your entire team straight back to full instantly. If for some odd reason it doesn't, you can always clip it with Blossom, because a little trick is, for some reason, Cross-Poll seems to bug Blossom if it hits everyone on your team. Blossom will no longer hit the weakest person, or the person with the least health. It will hit everybody. I don't know if that's intended or not, but it's really helpful. And obviously Swarm Shield I have just to protect myself with, I believe it's regenerative shielding. Yeah, regenerative shielding for your hands. If you use your shield, it will heal yourself. This can crit for a ridiculous amount with the resto that I'm at, but you should try it. It's sort of a panic heal for myself. Say the tyrant starts rolling and you can't use any other moves to heal, you can hit not regenerative shielding, sorry. You can hit swarm shield, and that will near enough fill you back up to max, whilst protecting anyone else that could be being hit by the tyrant's roll. And your spores should be ticking over in the background anyway, so if it doesn't heal you to full, your spores should be able to do that in the background anyway. So yeah, the basic rotation is just Savage and clip it with Metabolism, do a couple of attacks, Savage and clip it with Metabolism. Obviously it depends on the situation, so if no one really needs that much healing, I'll still top the spores up, what some people consider a waste of power, but it's sort of a safety precaution in case suddenly a lot of damage comes from nowhere, because with nature being heal over time, it's not great for its instant heal, unless you want to spend loads of power. As you can see, doing that would heal your entire team to full, but it drained near enough all my power bar, which is no good, really, in my opinion. I'm quite power conservative. What else can I explain? Instead of cross-pollination, if you don't feel comfortable using that move, you can use Bloom instead, which is another spore that doesn't overwrite Savage or Metabolism. So whilst Bloom is ticking away, as you just saw, I hit Savage and Metabolism before. That will give the double healing over time from both the spores for the 5 seconds that Bloom is casting, and then at the end of Bloom, it hits the entire team within eyesight for easily 7,000 upwards, which is very good, but I don't really use Bloom because of its cast time. It feels uncomfortable because you can't sometimes clip out of it. I don't know if that's just due to lag or something, because it worked then, but it worked again, but in raids, sometimes I get stuck in the animation, so I don't tend to use it. You can jump out of it, like so, but it's uncomfortable to keep jumping like this, for me anyway. I'm quite a stationary character. Team buffs as well. Some people prefer not to use Swarm Shield, and prefer to roll with either Hive Mind, which will give yourself and 3 other group mates. Now these group mates are chosen at random, so it'll be yourself and 3 random people, and that will buff their Resto by 270 and their Might by 270. So it's good for Might based DPSs, but not so great, say, if you had a hard light DPS in your raid, because obviously they're precision based or celestial. Carnage is another group buff, similar to Hive Mind. It will choose yourself and 3 other random people in your group, but it has a different effect. It will give them a crit damage chance from weapon attacks or precision attacks, and a crit power chance as well. So it's very helpful in that respect, as I'll just show you in the current effects. It will give both the weapon attack chance and your ability attack chance for 24 seconds. It will be buffed by 10%, plus it obviously gives the 115 extra precision. So if your DPSs are really struggling, personally I prefer to run with Carnage than Hive Mind, because with the gear people are running in now, your restoration's high enough to solo everything with ease, really. Other people like to run with Harvest instead of say cross-pol or Metabolism, but I wouldn't advise using Harvest and Metabolism in the same loadout, simply because they overwrite each other's spores. The heal over time is the most important part, in my opinion, to nature being purely healing over time. If you're overwriting that with your own loadout, I think that's not a very good loadout, because you can clip out of Harvest's animation with Metabolism, and in fairness that does promote both of the healing over time for the 5 seconds, but the healing over time after that is overwritten by itself, and personally I prefer my loadouts to run with at least 3 different spores, so that Blossom has a much bigger heal when I have to remove it in emergencies. What else is there to mention? Insectoid form. If you like running around in that has some huge benefits to nature healers, but I personally don't like using it because it's flight. If you're super speed, I wouldn't advise using this, purely because you won't be able to double jump with the white mod in your feet, which can regen 6% of your power. I'll just quickly show you. Inertial innovation. Every 15 seconds you can regen 6% of your max power pool. But insectoid form, as you can see, from its innate power, you just being in insectoid form will increase your crit healing chance by 3%, your crit healing magnitude by 5%, and it will just give you a 65% healing bonus. Now, personally, I've never really noticed that 65% healing bonus. I'm not really sure what that entails, as I've never noticed any of my healing over time increase unless it's a crit. So I don't know if that purely revolves around crits or if it's just bugged, but I've never noticed it increase my healing by 65%. So I don't tend to use insectoid form. I believe that's everything covered. Oh yeah, the other thing, skill points. As a nature healer, you need to be aiming to get 125 skill points. Not even as a nature healer, as a healer in general, you need at minimum, I would say, 125 skill points, because that will give you all of your breakouts and all your healing, crit magnitude, crit chance, and restoration, which is just very helpful. Anything added on top of that, personally I prefer to put in damage, because it saves me from having a respec for PvP, so I can do that little bit of extra damage in PvP, but I might start putting it in health and defense and toughness when the armories are introduced, so that I can take that little bit of extra damage in PvE, and maybe not die from some things that currently are one-shotting. I believe that's it, so I'll just quickly show you how I spec again. Okay, so that's Blossom, cross-pollination, not Blossom, sorry, Metabolism, cross-pollination, Blossom, Savage, Growth, and Swarm Shield, and obviously Regeneration as the supercharger. Trinkets to bear in mind: if you can't get if you haven't got the DLC for Gotham Wastelands, then you won't be able to get this trinket. I'd advise getting the Fozz Healer trinket instead, as each of these trinkets that I use have a different cooldown time. They don't overwrite each other on the cooldowns, so this one doesn't, because it's purely just a buff. It's just a character buff. Your CC trinket, which you can only get with the Lightning Strikes DLC, I believe, from Central City, has a couple of extra effects that I'll go through in a second as well. And this is the Ritualist Sunken. I think this one was from the summertime seasonal event. He buffs your resto by 246, I think. Yeah. Little tricks with the CC trinket. Right. So once you activate the CC trinket, it'll obviously buff your resto by, I believe it's 496. 432. Once you activate it again, if you tap square, it will give you a heal, a burst heal, which is good for nature as it saves you from having to use Blossom to kill the spores, which will heal yourself and one other person in your group. Or you can activate it and hold square, and it will put a shield on yourself. Oh, it stunned me because I've already done my heal. But it will put a shield on yourself and I believe 3 other group members, though I don't really use the shield too often. And yeah, I think that's everything covered, so thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If you've got any other ideas for me to try out as a nature healer, please do leave a comment in the comment section below. Thank you.